Powtoon speech analysis on Martin Luther King Jr.'s I've Been to the Mountaintop. In the biography of Martin Luther King Jr. by the official website of Nobel Peace Prize, his life and accomplishments are outlined. As a teen, he did very well in school and graduated from high school at age 15. His adult life consisted of major strides toward equality for minorities. And in Stanford University's nonviolent protest, Martin Luther King's call for nonviolent protest is elaborated. His first successful example is the Montgomery bus boycott. King learned from this boycott that this method would become the standard way of the civil rights activists protested. Martin Luther King Jr., in his speech, I've Been to the Mountaintop, discusses the importance of determination for moving forward and achieving civil rights. King's purpose is to advocate for the African American community to join together and achieve equality, and assure that the only way African Americans will get equality is through peaceful protest. He adopted an inspirational tone in order to motivate the African American community to peacefully fight for their rights.
Using this quote,
I would take my mental flight by Egypt, and I would watch God's children in their magnificent trek from the dark dungeons of Egypt through, or rather across the Red Sea, through the wilderness on toward the Promised Land. And in spite of its magnificence, I wouldn't stop there. I would move on by Greece and take my mind to Mount Olympus, and I would see Plato, Aristotle, Socrates, Euripides, and Aristophanes assembled around the Parthenon, and I would watch them around the Parthenon as they discussed the great and eternal issues of reality, but I wouldn't stop there. I would go on even to the great heyday of the Roman Empire, and I would see the developments around there, through various emperors and leaders, but I wouldn't stop there. The first strategies used in this quote are anaphora and epistrophe. King's repetition of I would in the beginning and but I wouldn't stop there at the end of each paragraph illustrates his determination to earn equality for minorities. The next strategy is an extended metaphor. The extended metaphor asserts how far he will go to achieve his purpose, saying he will mentally fly across the world. King's use of this conceit supports his purpose by influencing and unifying the African American community. We've got to stay together and maintain unity. You know, whenever Pharaoh wanted to prolong the period of slavery in Egypt, he had a favorite formula for doing it. What was that? He kept the slaves fighting among themselves. But whenever the slaves get together, something happens in Pharaoh's court, and he cannot hold the slaves in slavery. When the slaves get together, that's the beginning of getting out of slavery. Now let us maintain unity. The strategy used here is an allusion. King alludes to the slavery in Egypt and how the union of the slaves caused the deterioration of slavery, to which he adds that African Americans too should unite to establish that they are just as equal as white people.
Another such example would be antithesis. As shown in this quote here, men for years now have been talking about war and peace, but now no longer can they just talk about it. It is no longer a choice between violence and nonviolence in this world. It's nonviolence or non-existence. That is where we are today. Martin Luther King uses this antithesis to emphasize the importance of using peaceful protest to achieve equality. King juxtaposes violence and nonviolence in order to emphasize the immorality of violence, as he believes that our rights are intrinsically tied together. Thus, using violence for this cause would be unethical. In summary, Martin Luther King Jr.'s main purpose of writing I've Been to the Mountaintop was to display the importance of determination for never giving up the fight for equality, unity, and peaceful protest. He achieved this through motivating listeners to fight for his cause and doing it in a peaceful manner. King made sure to use peaceful protest to establish credibility for the African American community. If he had used violent protest, his community would not have been taken seriously. In all, he wrote the speech to further his battle for the rights of all people.
Created using Powtoon.